Hi, precious heart. Thank you for joining us for our weekly vlog. The next step in learning to love ourselves involves being conscientious about taking care of ourselves. If we are not used to taking care of ourselves, this change in our behavior will feel even more foreign than the positive affirmations we have been empowering from our I Am presence. Taking care of ourselves actually means that we need to ask ourselves in every situation, what is the highest good for me? I know that thought normally sends shock waves through people. Imagine the audacity of thinking of ourselves first. Doesn't that totally conflict with everything we have ever been taught? Well, yes, it conflicts with everything we have all been taught, and that is why we are so codependent and dysfunctional. The important thing to understand about this step is that we must ask that question from the highest level of consciousness, not our fear-based and fragmented fallen consciousness. When we ask, what is the highest good for me, through our I Am presence, we will receive an intuitive answer that will always reflect the highest good for all concerned. When we fail to invoke our I Am presence and lift up in consciousness before asking that question, we will receive a distorted answer from the obsolete residue of our fragmented human ego. This obsolete aspect of our consciousness is self-obsessed and operates strictly to gratify our physical senses. It is based in fear, so when it responds to that question, the answer is always selfish, greedy, and usually at the expense of everybody else. In other words, this fragment of our fallen consciousness responds from a dog-eat-dog and looking out for number one frame of mind. When we ask that question through our I Am presence, we receive an entirely different answer. Our I Am presence always prompts us toward our highest potential. This aspect of our divinity clearly knows that the answer to our question and our subsequent actions must be accomplished with reverence for all life and the highest good for all concerned. It is hard to believe that every time we respond in ways that will perpetuate our own highest good, our response will also be for the highest good of everybody else. But that is exactly what happens. The company of heaven has confirmed that indeed the degree of coordination in the universe that is necessary to accomplish that truth is beyond the comprehension of our finite minds. However, our Father, Mother, God assure us that it will never be the case that if we are truly fulfilling our highest good, other people or other life forms will be harmed in the process. Our divine plan just does not conflict in that way with anyone else's divine plan. This means that if we are truly doing what is the highest good for ourselves in a particular situation, it will also be the highest good for everyone else involved. This is true even if the people involved do not perceive it that way in the moment. It will never be the case that if we are truly fulfilling our divine plan, we are preventing someone else from fulfilling their divine plan. When there seems to be a real conflict, then we must realize that either the residue of our own or the other person's obsolete human ego has been involved in the decision. This means that even if both of us believe we are responding to the situation from the guidance of our I Am presence, one or both of us is not. Another thing we must understand in this vitally important step of learning to love and take care of ourselves is that we are not helping anyone by being a martyr and sacrificing what is right for us just to make someone else happy. Even if we are giving the other person what they want, if we have had to sacrifice what is right for us in the process, it is not going to be the highest good for either of us. When we make these self-sacrifices, it is often because we do not want to hurt another person's feeling, or we want to be loved, approved of, and accepted. It is impossible to fulfill everybody's expectations. So when we try to do that, we are always disappointing someone. When we try to be what everybody else wants us to be, we become so confused that we totally lose touch with who we really are and what we are supposed to be doing to fulfill our divine plan on earth. The company of heaven wants us to remember that by going against our own highest good, we are not helping the other person at all. When we make decisions to try and be what everybody else wants us to be, instead of being who we really are, we actually deprive ourselves and the rest of the world from the benefit of experiencing our full divine potential as a son or daughter of God. This is really a tragedy and consistently holds us in bondage and limitation. To help us eliminate any nagging fear that we are being selfish by focusing on our own highest good, the beings of light want us to remember that our I Am presence is a reflection of our Father, Mother God. Our I Am presence is a loving, caring, understanding, and compassionate being. When this aspect of our divinity is making the decision of what is the highest good for us in a situation, we receive guidance on ways to love, heal, help, benefit, and nurture ourselves in the process of making the decision. In addition to that guidance, our I Am presence also gives us assistance on how to love, heal, benefit, and nurture the other people involved in the situation. One of the main reasons we have such a difficult time loving ourselves is due to the fact that we are not accomplishing our divine potential and our reason for being. When this is the case, no matter what we do, we never feel fulfilled. We always feel like something is missing in our life, and we experience a level of dissatisfaction with everything we attempt to do. This is a key factor in causing us to develop a failure consciousness, and it exacerbates our low self-esteem. Then the vicious circle of not loving ourselves begins all over again. The exciting thing about the new awareness that is pouring forth from the realms of illumined truth is that we do not have to understand it all fully. We do not have to totally accept this information or even believe it. All we have to do is experiment with it and put forth the effort to change our negative thinking and behavior habits. If we do, we will prove this truth to ourselves. Dear heart, focus on this sharing from on high and allow this sacred knowledge to resonate within the flame of truth pulsating in your heart. God bless you, and I look forward to being with you next week.